Customer Success Manager here at Sketchup, and I will be your host for today's session. This is part 2 of our customer success webinars, where we bring industry specialists from within Sketchup, Trimble, and beyond to talk about best practices and workflows that will hopefully make your 3D modeling, will take your 3D modeling to the next level. Today, you will learn how to get your 3D models from SketchUp and the digital world to augmented reality and the physical world using SiteVision. This is actually a technology and a product that I have personally used and I'm really, really excited about. So I hope you will enjoy it. Just a heads up, in today's session, we will not cover too many tricks within SketchUp. We will mostly cover how to get from SketchUp to SiteVision, which is a completely different product, but from the same parent company, Trimble. A little bit of housekeeping before I introduce our speaker for today. This webinar will be recorded, and each one of you will get an email a day later with a full recording of that session. Just so you know, the entire audience will be on mute, but we encourage you to ask your questions inside the question box that you will find on the Go-To panel on the top right corner of your screen. On that same panel, you will also find a Handouts menu, where we have uploaded the slides that you will see today in PDF format in case you want to download it. So finally, at the very end of that session, you will be prompted to answer an online survey that we would very much like you to do so to let us know how we did today, but also give us ideas and suggestions about future sessions. Okay, so enough with that. Let me introduce you to our guest for today, coming to you live from Denver, Colorado, Dr. Stefania Radopoulou. Hello, Stefania. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, Ari. Hello.
Yeah, hey, yes. By the way, you might have noticed our accents are a little bit particular. We are both Greek. That is completely coincidental. I promise this is not how SketchUp is released, but it happened so today. So we're both Greeks. Again, Stefania, thanks for joining us. Stefania is the market manager for Trimble SiteVision, and she has a background in civil engineering and transportation. With her PhD, Stefania got into some really cool technologies like computer vision and image processing, and this is where she met with Trimble. Stefania joined us in 2016, and as a matter of fact, as part of the graduate rotation program, she also worked with us here at SketchUp for 6 months. It was great to have you back then. It's great to have you again today, Stefania. Before we jump in, I would like to make you 2 a little bit more personal questions so that people get to know you a little bit better. My first question is, how are you linking your academic research that you did at MIT and the University of Cambridge with your role today at Trimble?
Sure. So my research was on automating road condition monitoring. The idea is that you collect a video of the road using the backup camera that many cars have, and then you can automatically detect where defects exist, such as cracks and potholes. So I really liked solving a problem and providing a solution that will help somebody outside in the field. And that's exactly what Trimble does, and that's why I'm here. Trimble creates products to make workflows more efficient.
Perfect. And my second question, and equally serious and important, if you could choose any person from history to be your imaginary friend, who would that be and why?
That's an interesting one. So I think that if I could choose a person to be my friend from back in the days, that would be Marie Curie. I find it extraordinary that she was an expert in 2 different fields, physics and chemistry, and she got 2 Nobel Prizes, the first person ever to do so. So I think it would have been amazing to hear about her passion and see how she thrived in a man's world back then.
You're absolutely right. I'm guessing it would be a little bit, it would not be entirely safe to hang out with Marie Curie given her habits, but those were both great answers. Thanks for that, Stefania. The floor is yours. Take it away. Thanks.
Thank you, Ari. Thanks to the SketchUp team for the invitation to present to you today. I will start with discussing a little bit about augmented reality before presenting Trimble SiteVision and the different ways to use it in order to bring your 3D designs outdoors. At the end, we will have some time for answering questions. As SketchUp users and people who design in 3D, you're all aware of the great value of data visualization. In general, information is useful when it is easy to access, easy to understand, easy to communicate. Augmented reality is a technology that superimposes a computer-generated image on a user's view of the real world. In this case, your 3D model on the field that it's going to be constructed. The predominant benefit of augmented reality is that it simplifies communication by putting information in context. Shown here is a mountain cabin designed in SketchUp, overlaid on site in the real world using augmented reality. It is actually high accuracy augmented reality, Trimble's SiteVision. I am sure that the civil engineers, and not only in the audience, have had plenty of moments when they were trying to explain the traditional 2D designs to their clients. Now, imagine being able to show 3D models to your clients outside in the field, on their land. A survey that was performed amongst civil engineers and architects during a research project on measuring the potential of augmented reality in the AC industry showed that they prefer using AR on a tablet for project documentation instead of other alternatives, such as a 3D model on a screen or 2D plans on paper, and that is exactly what Trimble SiteVision is. Trimble SiteVision is an outdoor high-accuracy augmented reality system that extracts added value from your existing data and workflows using GNSS, or more commonly known GPS, allowing you to bring your models in the field. Trimble SiteVision helps to deliver complex information accurately and in an easy way. Here, you can see a complex 2D plan of underground utilities delivered through SiteVision. Imagine being able to see where pipes exist underneath the road before you break ground. With SiteVision, you can view your 3D models while overlaid on site from any perspective, inside and out as well. It is a tool that allows you to bring your beautiful 3D models from your screen to the field. It can be used for visualizing your work on site, collaboration and communication amongst the different stakeholders, and reporting. SiteVision, yes?
About the collaboration, do you have any real-life examples that you could share with us?
Absolutely, sure. So SiteVision can be used in conjunction with other apps for real-time communication between the field and in the office. For those that you have downloaded the PDF, I have provided a link on the lower left of this slide. It's actually a couple of links, but the first one is using SiteVision with Microsoft Teams. It was performed by Skanska UK, actually. So the project engineer was outside in the field using SiteVision, walking around, discussing with the head engineer, who was 3 hours away in his office, and they could work live.
Right, right, which is quite important, especially during this time where we do have to work remotely.
Exactly, and there are other available apps such as A-Power Mirror and TeamViewer for sharing your screen and doing so.
Awesome, thanks.
So how does SiteVision works? Trimble SiteVision provides centimeter accuracy with a Trimble Catalyst GNSS receiver while using GNSS corrections from Trimble VRS and RTX networks. The Catalyst receiver, which is placed in the wide circular part of the handheld, is a technology to obtain high-accuracy GNSS positions on your mobile phone. SiteVision has an integrated electronic distance measurement unit and uses visual odometry of AR-capable smartphones. Visual odometry is the process of determining the position and orientation of an object by analyzing it in a series of camera images.
And does that work also with iPhones or only Android phones? Because I thought there was an Android phone there.
Yes, exactly. So SiteVision is compatible with Android only, platforms 9 and above. And yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Sure. The workflow is pretty simple. You save your models to Trimble Connect, our cloud collaboration platform, from where you retrieve it and view it in SiteVision. Trimble Connect is also where all the data you acquire in the field is saving. Let's discuss in more detail how to view your SketchUp models on site, starting with what we call measured placement. Create your model with a few reference points, points that you know where exactly they correspond to in the field. Then save it in Connect. All of you with SketchUp subscriptions also have a Connect account for storage. You can either publish or save directly from within SketchUp, or drag and drop your model to your Connect folder. Now, when out in the field, you use two of your reference points. One to locate the model in the real world, and another one to orientate it. What you do is match the point in the model with the corresponding physical location in the field. Finally, you need to walk 10 yards and you're ready to explore your design in context. As you see over here, the lady in the video is walking the 10 yards and she can see the model in front of her. Now, you can use the transparency and cross-section bars with which you can focus on parts of your model if necessary, depending on what you want to do outside in the field. Now, you're also able to turn on and off different layers that you have designed your model into and see everything or part of your model. You can visualize any detail from any perspective. You can go inside your model as shown in those pictures and have a look of the view outside, or explore the different details that you have designed and see how they will look like in one-to-one scale. With SiteVision, you can also easily create scenes in the field using SketchUp models. This is achieved with the Measure Point app. You can either use your own models or download them from the 3D warehouse. Then you should drag and drop them in the symbols directory on your phone so that you can access them. Once outside in the field, you can select the location that you want to place your model and then select which model to view from the drop-down menu. In the video over here, you see a landscape architecture example where the user is placing a cherry tree and a couple of rose bushes. You also have the ability to rotate the placed model so that you orientate it according to your desire, but you can also delete a model in case you have placed it by mistake. And there you have your scene. With SiteVision, you can also model your site. You can go out in the field and collect the geographical location of different points from your site. This information is directly saved in Trimble Connect as a CSV file. So now you have the XYZ information of several points from your site. You can then import these points in SketchUp and use them to create the surface model of your field. Over here, we have used the plugins of Point Gadget and Topo Shaper to do that, insert the points, and then create the surface of the field. And then you can add the house of the house model, and you have a complete design.
That's pretty cool, Stefania. I have two quick questions on that.
Sure.
So first of all, when you saw that video where you have the guy taking those points, and I don't have a huge experience in surveying, but I do know that usually you require more than one person to do that, to triangulate or do some other kind of surveying magic. Can you take points with SiteVision completely on your own?
Yes, absolutely. So with SiteVision, you can go outside by yourself and capture a few points. Now, SiteVision doesn't replace the surveyor's detailed work for capturing the boundaries of your field, for example, but you can definitely use it just by yourself to capture a few points and then put them in your model for modeling purposes.
And one more comment to make on what you said about those extensions. Both those extensions that Stefania mentioned, Topo Saper and Point Gadget, are free, and you can download Point Gadget 2 from our extension warehouse. There will be a link in the questions posted. And the Topo Saper, you can find it in Sketchup, which is not an official Trimble website. However, it is a great place, a fantastic community where it's absolutely safe to go and download extensions.
So now you have your field and your model all together, and you can go outside and place it automatically because you already have geolocation information embedded through your collected points, and explore your design. As already mentioned, you can use the cross-section bar to focus on part of your model or walk around and view it from different angles. For the automatic placement that I just mentioned, you can use the Trimble SiteVision AR exporter, which you can find in the extension warehouse. In the case that you have geolocation information in your model, you can use this plugin to handle large coordinate systems. Now, for those that are working with geographic information system data, SiteVision has a plugin for using SketchUp models to visualize them. GIS data is predominantly used by governmental entities for capturing spatial and geographic information. You start with downloading GIS data, which, depending on where you are in the world, it might be publicly available in your area, and save it in Connect. You can then download SketchUp models from the 3D warehouse for representing this data, which usually is in the form of lines and points. Then you can use the visualization manager to match the attributes of your GIS data to specific SketchUp models. Finally, you can visualize the 2D data in 3D on site. So you can visualize manholes and pipes instead of seeing them as dots and lines, as you see here in this video.
That's really nice. And can you tell us a little bit what is the difference between the feature that you just showed us with GIS and the previous feature where you could just place models on specific points?
Sure, absolutely. So the Visualization Manager is a plugin for transforming your GIS data, which is usually lines and points, 2D, in 3D using the SketchUp models. The create the scene workflow that I presented earlier is using the app of measuring point, where you can just point and shoot with your EDM, for example, and then select a model that you want to place in that location.
Thank you.
Sure. SiteVision does not stop here. It's not only a tool for visualization, but it provides you with the ability of doing much more. You can use it for reporting. With the Todo app, you can take a geo-referenced snapshot of your 3D model overlaid on site and send an email to the person that should be aware of an issue that you have identified. You can use it for measuring lines and areas. These measurements can be either vertical, horizontal, or sloped. There are 3 different measurement modes that I should mention over here that you can use with SiteVision. You can walk to the point and use the GNSS signal coming from the Catalyst receiver. You can point and shoot using the Integrated Electronic Distance Measurement Unit. You can make measurements on your model, but you can also make measurements between your 3D model and the physical world. For example, you place your 3D model in the field and you want to see if the distance between the boundary of the field and your model to be constructed follows standards. You can do that. SiteVision can be used for inspection purposes. There are apps for measuring distances and grades, but also cut and fill if your model has surface information. Again, you can use the different aforementioned measurement modes on the physical world, on your model, or between the two. Finally, you can use it for creating quick designs in the field. With the Create Profile app, you can create a trench by designing your own profile, not pre-existing ones, and deciding where it's going to be excavated. Or you can use the Create Plane app and design a surface to complement your existing design. SiteVision, with all the capabilities it offers, is your Swiss Army knife in the field, making you quite independent to perform several tasks by yourself without needing the help of others. The hardware costs $3,250. The services, which include the app, the visualization manager to transform your GIS data, the correction services to provide you with centimeter accuracy, and a Trimble Connect account, cost either $250 per month or $2,000 a year. Now, for our friends who are joining from countries outside the US, you can check online for your local currency prices, because there will be some adjustments.
Cool. I mean, one question I had about the pricing, and like as a SketchUp user who I might have like smaller project, $5,000 sounds like quite a lot of money to invest. Can you elaborate a little bit on what is the value proposition here? What costs will eventually be covered with SiteVision?
Thank you, Aris. You are bridging perfectly to my next slide, which is about return on investment. So SiteVision is a tool that can serve many purposes. It can help you create compelling presentations to win more business. It can reduce survey costs at the concept phase. It can reduce layout costs for landscape projects. It can help you get project approvals faster by simplifying communication with the local authorities. It can save you time and cost of rework by identifying site-based clashes early. Trimble SiteVision brings your 3D models from your screen to the site accurately in one-to-one scale. It's a great multifunctional tool that can be used for making discussions with the different stakeholders more meaningful, for real-time communication and collaboration in the field, but also between the field and the office. And finally, for making accurate measurements in the field without the need of several different tools. And with this, I'm concluding my presentation. Thank you.
Awesome. That was really cool. And we did have questions coming in during your presentation, Stefania. I think my colleagues have been answering most of them, but I would like to maybe kind of like call out a few of those and answer them together. So I want to start with a question that came in from Michael, asking if SiteVision can be used indoors. And if not, is there something equivalent?
So it is suggested that we use it outdoors because of the GNSS, that's its power, because of the GNSS receiver. It could be used indoors, but some of its functionality is not as good.
Right. Okay, cool. Another question that is kind of a follow-up to my question early on about the kind of devices that can be used with SiteVision. Both Seth and Ignacio are asking if SiteVision will become available for iPhones, if that is in the roadmap.
Not at this point. At this point, SiteVision is compatible with Android. In the handout or on our blog on site, you can find information on devices that we recommend and we suggest. Mm-hmm. The difference is that recommended ones have better performance. And of course, there are tons of phones out there that qualify, but we haven't tested everything. That's why there is a particular list that we are recommending and suggesting.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe at some point it's worth mentioning, like how old is the SiteVision product, right? I mean, it's pretty new, so I think this is also kind of like the first integrations, right?
Yes, exactly. So it came out in November, actually, so it's not even a 1-year-old product.
Right. Cool. We have another question that came in from Ravad, who is asking, what if you have a building that has multiple floors? Can you transition to another floor using SiteVision if you're not physically there?
Yes, absolutely. You can. So now that I'm thinking about it, most of the videos I had a cross section of X, Y examples, but you can also use a cross section for the Z-axis as well. So yes, you can jump in another floor.
Cool. Going back to the Android versus iPhone conversation, I wanted to ask if you can use also other Android applications in conjunction with SiteVision.
Yes, absolutely. As I mentioned earlier, you can use the A-Power Mirror and the TeamViewer apps for screening broadcasting your mirror and collaborating live. But there are also several recording apps that you can record your session while outside in the field, and then share this with the customers so that you can have a semi-live conversation of how the model is looking on site and different measurements that you have potentially taken.
Right. There were a few questions about accuracy, one coming from Mike. So maybe we can talk a little bit more about, what is the accuracy of SiteVision? What does that mean in real life, and how it might vary from place to place? What are the factors that will affect the accuracy?
Yes, so depending on when you are in this world, the best accuracy that you can get is down to a couple of centimeters, 2 centimeters actually. That is dependent on whether a Trimble VRS network is available in your location. If that's not the case, and I'm really sorry I don't know the map by heart, but we can share links with people so that they can see. I know that it is available within the US, so for the US market, in most areas, we have, in the most part of the US, we have 2 centimeter accuracy. If that's not the case, then the accuracy goes to 10 to 20 centimeters.
Right. I'm going to read out this next question because I'm probably, I'm not understanding what I'm reading. You might have found yourself in that position. So this is coming from Robert, and Robert is asking if centimeter accuracy is not necessary for my project. Could another source for 3-space positioning be substituted rather than the SiteVision handset? For example, the handheld GPS device that I already use for field work.
Yes, depending on whether that receiver has an internet connection available, then SiteVision provides you with the option of connecting over the internet with that receiver and getting corrections from there. Hopefully I answered the question.
I could not say, but I hope so. I think Supratim asked a question which is quite similar about if there is an equivalent version, something for interior projects. I think we answered that, but on that opportunity, I would like to ask something that has to do with augmented and mixed reality. Like in my mind, and since Trimble had this long collaboration with Microsoft, and we have products for the HoloLens, I wanted to ask, what is the difference between the SiteVision device and HoloLens or other mixed reality headsets?
Sure. So SiteVision uses the technology of augmented reality. HoloLens and Trimble's solution XR10 use the mixed reality technology. With mixed reality, you have a headset on your head, and you are immersing in the 3D design along the physical world, whereas SiteVision is a handheld. You have it in front of you, and you see the 3D model overlaid in the real world, in the screen of the phone that you are using. Now, SiteVision's glory is outdoors implementation because of the high accuracy that it provides with the integrated Catalyst receiver, whereas the XR10 solution is for indoors.
Perfect. I have another question coming in from Brendan, who asks, how does the platform compare with other platforms like Qubity or the AR plugin? So I know that Qubity is used for VR. The AR plugin, I'm guessing it's the standard functionality of AR, that the AR kit that comes with your Android or iPhone devices right now.
Well, So if our friend is referring to the AR plugin I mentioned for handling large coordinate systems, it's within SketchUp so that you can orient your model appropriately and handle large coordinate systems to bring it outside in the field. I don't think it's equivalent with Qubity, to be honest.
Right. Okay, so there is another question from, where was that? I will find it. Okay, so has SiteVision be used for archaeology? This is coming from David. That's a great question. And I mean, it kind of speaks to the various use cases that you have maybe heard from customers.
Yes, actually, I've heard something about archaeology, and along with our education teams who had tried to model a very old ship. I'm so sorry, I don't know all of the details, but the answer is yes, and I'll get back to you with more information.
Okay, cool. What else do I have here? Oh my God, there are too many coming in now. Dave is asking, can SiteVision be used for calculating earthworks excavation?
So yes and no. We don't provide the calculation of volumes, but we provide the calculation of lines and areas so that you can then make them up multiplication yourself. The other thing I would like to mention here about earthworks is in conjunction to the design applications I mentioned. So we have the create profile and create plane, which you can do on site just by yourself, and then you can transfer this design to the Trimble Earthworks platform, which is our automated machine control solution. And if you have that, you can immediately have your excavator go ahead and do the earth moving or excavation designed.
Right. Perfect. I am going to put you on the spot here. This is coming from Brendan, who is an architect. And he says, the graphics aren't great. Low resolution, 8-bit. I'm an architect for high-end projects, and my clients would expect much more engaging graphics. So what is the use case, I guess, for SiteVision for architects, and what is the response for the quality of graphics that are currently being offered?
So it really depends on the phone that you're using. This is not dependent on SiteVision. It's totally dependent on the resolution of the phone. Now, maybe my screenshots are not as high quality. I apologize for that, but it's dependent on the phone that you're using, and the phone that you're using also can restrict the sizes of the size of the model that you can visualize. And we have information on our blog that relate the number of triangles that each of the phones that we recommend can handle successfully.
Awesome. There's another question I really like coming in from Billy, who's asking, can you place multiple SketchUp models on your project site using SiteVision?
Yes, absolutely. So, so here's the workflow for that. Using Connect, you can combine different models that you have saved in there, and then you can bring them as one in SiteVision.
Perfect. Okay. And I don't know, like many from the audience might not know what Trimble Connect even is. This is our collaboration platform across different Trimble products. You already have it in your SketchUp. So if you right-click on the toolbars, you will find a Trimble Connect extension in there. And you can also explore the options from your file menu, which is kind of different for Mac users, I guess. But Trimble Connect is already on your SketchUp, and you can start exploring it today. There is another question that I have to it's one of those questions that I don't really understand, but possibly you will be understanding it. So this is coming again from Ignacio. Some technology and software, such as the ones introduced on the drones, allow to get 3D terrain imagery from the air and then use such information to create HDR images that are usable on SketchUp. How likely the information you get from the SiteVision can be recorded or saved so they can be used to create the same HDR images. So is there any capturing capability right now with SiteVision from either the context or the models that you use?
It really depends on what type of capturing you want to do. So for the data that you can collect and create in addition to your model, like lines and areas and points, or creating scenes, you can save their location and then insert it in SketchUp. You cannot revisit the visual part of it, but you have the locations which you can insert in the SketchUp model and then recreate them over there. And then we have, I don't know if this is as relevant, but I will mention it again. We have the to-do functionality where you can take a picture of your model from any perspective, overlaid on site, and capture that. Now, yeah, this is not as relevant, but I should put it out there.
All right. Another one from Robert, who is asking, can the SiteVision video output be recorded and then be displayed?
Yes, absolutely.
On the project website, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can either record it on your phone and then share it with others. I know that the Samsung phones have their own apps to do so, but there are others available that you can find on the Google Play Store. And then, so yeah, this is one. The other one is that you can do it live with TeamViewer, as I mentioned, and Microsoft Teams. And I'm sure there are others out there that I might have not heard of.
Very cool. What else? I see a question here about hardware. I don't know if we can speak about that. I'm guessing that's a Samsung phone.
Which one?
But the S20, is that a Samsung phone?
Yes, it's a Samsung phone. It's, I think, the newest one they have.
Yeah, so there is a question coming in from Alexandra, who's asking, how good is the S20? Was it tested and recommended better than the S10?
So yes, I do have an answer to that. We have tested both the S20 Plus and S20s. They're good, but we still believe that the S10 Plus is the best out there for a conjunction of different parameters that we take in consideration when we are evaluating the performance. And that includes the calibration of the lenses, their core capability, the size of the screen, and the size of the processor within the phone.
Perfect. And there's another question from Anthony, who might have missed our slide earlier because we talked a little bit about that, but maybe we can elaborate on this workflow. He asks, as a landscape designer, I often work closely with a surveyor once a project is set to start. Does SiteVision necessarily replace the traditional surveyor collecting data points, or does SiteVision work in unity with traditional surveying equipment?
So
I would never,
yeah. So I wouldn't say that SiteVision replaces the detailed surveying work that surveyors are doing out there. And for sure, in the beginning of your project, when you need to capture all of the details of your field, you definitely need a surveyor. However, if you have smaller projects or questions of capturing a few location points within your field, you can definitely use SiteVision to do that instead of having to commission the surveyor to come back every time you need him or her.
Perfect. There's another question from Robert, who's asking about the community of practice for SiteVision. Is there a community, I'm guessing, lessons learned? Is there any use cases, I guess, or like experience from customers that we can share?
So as we already mentioned, we are a new product, so the community is still quite small, can't be compared to Sketchup. no way.
course.
But we have our blog online, sitevisionblog.trimble.com, where we have posted different use and case studies.
Mhm.
And there you can also find information about accuracy and, yeah, as we said, the SiteVision in different markets, like inspection, as I mentioned, architecture, landscape architecture. Yeah.
So Michael is asking a question that has been asked before. Do you have any example screenshots or video from SiteVision being used indoors? I actually want to share a personal experience when we came to Westminster and you guys demoed SiteVision for us. And I'm personally an architect, and we got inside a house and you could look outside the window. So this is a quite unique experience that you have never that I have never seen before, and I think that workflow works both for architects or also the real estate agents that want to showcase the interior of a house. It is pretty unique to be able to preview exactly your view from inside the room and see exactly the view outside being on that place. And Michael, if you download the handout that is included in the go-to, you will be able to find some screenshots from interior projects being used with SiteVision.
I think I should also mention our YouTube video. If you go on YouTube account, if you go on YouTube and search for SiteVision, you will find a list of different videos, and we have applications, examples of landscape architecture or architecture, amongst others.
Right. I think we're like almost on time. I think we're going to answer to maybe one more question. I'm going to take this one from Erwin. He's asking if SiteVision is compatible with a tablet.
Not at this point.
Okay. I don't want to leave that disappointment.
I'm sorry for that, but no, not at this point. It's compatible to screens of 8 inches and smaller.
Okay, perfect. Ignacio is also saying ευχαριστώ, καλά. So thank you, Ignacio, for making that effort to speak the Trimble and Sketchup language. Okay, perfect. That was fantastic, Stefania. Thanks again so much for that presentation. And of course, thanks to all of you, all of the audience who stayed with us until the end. Don't miss out our next session, our next webinar, which is coming in 2 weeks from today. It will be on materials and textures. My colleague and absolute SketchUp ninja, Josh Riley, will give you everything you need about all the different ways you can bring in textures and materials in SketchUp. So please register on that link. I think my colleagues will also post it on the questions box. Again, thanks everyone again for your time, and hopefully see you again in 2 weeks. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.